Hey everyone, welcome to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're diving deep into a cinematic classic that continues to terrify audiences to this day, William Friedkin's 1974 film, The Exorcist. This demonic possession story isn't just a jump scare factory, it's packed with behind-the-scenes chills, strange occurrences and surprising facts that might just change the way you see the film forever. So whether you're a seasoned horror buff or a curious newcomer, buckle up, because we're about to explore 22 things you never knew about The Exorcist. The film is loosely based on the real-life case of a young boy in 1949 known as Roland Doe. This story became a national sensation and it caught the eye of writer William Peter Blatty. But here's the real shocker. In 2021, after the movie had been scaring audiences for decades, the boy's true identity was finally revealed. Ronald Edwin Hunkler. The 14-year-old who went through those exorcism rituals went on to live a full life. He even became a NASA engineer, according to reports. A demon tormenting Reagan has a name, Pazuzu. This creepy moniker isn't just some random invention. Pazuzu is actually the king of the demons in ancient Assyrian and Babylonian mythology. Mercedes McCambridge provided the voice of the demon in The Exorcist. This became a source of controversy when McCambridge was not credited for her performance. Some rumours swirled that she actually requested this to avoid overshadowing Linda Blair's performance, but later changed her tune. Under the threat of legal action, her name was quickly added to the credits. She believed that chain smoking and a diet of raw eggs and whiskey were the key to a great vocal performance. Some of Reagan's most disturbing sounds weren't even human. The sound designers got creative and used recording of pig squeals that were then remixed to create some of her terrifying growls and moans. And when the demon is finally banished from Reagan, the chilling sound you hear, that's actually a recording of a bunch of pigs being led to the slaughter. In Father Karras' dream sequence, there's a flash of a terrifying face that will have you rewinding and hitting pause. This creepy image wasn't even planned. It turns out it came from an early makeup test for Reagan, but director William Friedkin originally wasn't a fan of the design, just a white face with dark eyes and red lines. But then months later, he snuck it into the dream sequence, creating a split-second jolt that sends shivers down your spine. The director wasn't afraid to get a little wild to get the perfect scare either. He has admitted to firing a rifle on set just to catch the genuine terror on the actors' faces. This can be seen when Karras is startled by the phone ringing, but Friedkin's unconventional methods didn't stop there. Before filming the scene where Father Dyer is shaken up while giving last rites to Karras, Friedkin smacked William O'Malley in the face to help him get into character. Afterwards, he hugged me and thanked me, the director said, though he noted techniques like this would not go over today. By now it's well known that the substance Reagan projectile vomits onto Father Karras in one of the film's most famous and disgusting scenes is pea soup. But to be more exact, it's Anderson's pea soup, mixed with oatmeal. Campbell's soup was tried, but the crew apparently didn't like the effect as much. When Reagan vomits the pea soup on Father Karras, the plan was for him to be hit in the sweater. But actor Miller was accidentally hit in the face, and this take was used in the movie. My momentary reaction was I was a little pissed off, Miller has said. Friedkin is known for using manipulative tactics in order to elicit the most authentic reactions possible from his actors, so maybe it wasn't quite so accidental. The Exorcist was so intense that legend has it some theatres actually handed out bath bags with every ticket. Can you imagine sitting down to watch a movie and getting a complimentary puke bag? Talk about setting the mood. The Exorcist steps, as they have come to be known, are still a popular tourist attraction. At the end of M Street in Washington, D.C. is where you'll find the film's location landmark, a set of stone stairs onto which Reagan throws Father Karras from her window. Many of The Exorcist's cast and crew members believed the set was cursed. Filming in the US took place in both New York City and Washington, D.C. After a number of eerie incidents on the New York City set, including a studio fire, where the McNeil house caught fire and left the whole set damaged, except for Reagan's room, which was completely unharmed. Blatty and Friedkin regularly brought in a priest, Father King, to bless the cast, crew and set when production was moved to DC. By the end of the film's production, 9 people connected with the cast and crew had passed away. A real-life suspected serial killer makes an appearance in the film. Paul Bateson, a real-life X-ray technician, played the role of the radiologist's assistant in the scene where Reagan is having a procedure. In 1979, Bateson was arrested for the brutal murder of a film critic. While awaiting trial, he bragged about killing other men, claiming he disposed of their bodies in the Hudson River. These unsolved murders, known as the Bag Murders, targeted gay men in the late 70s. Despite a confession, authorities couldn't link Bateson to the other killings. He served over 20 years for the critic's murder and was released in 2004. Imagine Willy Wonka's Violet possessed by a demon. That almost became a reality. Denise Nickerson, who played the gum-chewing Violet, was actually considered for the role of Reagan in The Exorcist. But then her parents got a hold of the script and, troubled by what they read, pulled her from the production's shortlist of young actresses. Marlon Brando was the studio's first choice for Father Merrin in The Exorcist. While Brando was a legendary actor, Friedkin worried that any film starring him would become all about Brando, overshadowing the story itself. He wanted the focus to be on the demonic possession and the characters directly involved. This paved the way for Max von Sydow to deliver his now iconic performance as the troubled priest. Believe it or not, Father Merrin wasn't an old man at all. Actor Max von Sydow was actually only 43 years old during filming. That incredibly convincing age look took hours each day, with prosthetics and special techniques to add decades to von Sydow's face. Capture the breadth of the characters and make the freezing room feel real, director William Friedkin took things to the extreme. Reagan's bedroom set was basically turned into a giant refrigerator. The temperature plunged to a whopping 30 to 40 degrees below freezing. William Peter Blatty wasn't just selling the rights to his terrifying novel The Exorcist, he was making sure his vision became a reality. By staying on as a producer, he had a say in who would bring his story to life on screen. The studio had some big names in mind, directors like Arthur Penn and even Stanley Kubrick, but Blatty had a different director in his sights, William Friedkin, known for his gritty and realistic style in films like The French Connection. Blatty believed Friedkin's approach was perfect for the dark and disturbing tone of The Exorcist. So when the studio offered him Mark Rydell for the job, Blatty dug in his heels and fought for his choice. Thankfully, his persistence paid off. According to Friedkin's director's commentary, he actually drew inspiration from a recording of a real exorcism performed at the Vatican. This chilling audio provided 2 key elements for the film. First, Friedkin lifted the now famous phrase, "The power of Christ compels you," directly from the recording. Second, he incorporated sounds from the possessed individual, blending them into the demonic noises that torment Reagan. The Exorcist's intensity sparked a debate over movie ratings. When the MPAA slapped it with an R rating, some critics, like Roy Meacham of the New York Times, argued it basically meant suitable for children when accompanied by an adult. Things got even crazier in Washington, D.C. This city became the first city ever to bar children from a film the review board said they could see. Meanwhile, the MPAA dug in its heels and defended the R rating. They argued that because the movie wasn't overly sexual or gratuitous, an R rating was fair game. The Exorcist wasn't just terrifying audiences, it was also shocking the Academy Awards. In a genre typically snubbed by the Oscars, The Exorcist defied expectations by racking up a whopping 10 nominations in 1974. It was the first horror film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar, and another nod went to a very young Linda Blair, who was just 15 at the time, for Best Supporting Actress. The film managed to take home 2 Oscars, Best Sound and Best Screenplay based on materials from another medium. William Peter Blatty wasn't always the king of horror. Believe it or not, before terrifying audiences with The Exorcist, Blatty was a successful comedy writer. He even penned a sequel to the classic Pink Panther film, A Shot in the Dark. But his career took a sharp turn in 1961. After winning $10,000 on Groucho Marx's game show You Bet Your Life, Blatty felt inspired to write a novel based on a real-life exorcism case. The result, The Exorcist. The intensity of The Exorcist wasn't just for show. the filming process itself got pretty rough for the actors. Linda Blair, who played Reagan, revealed that during a scene where she's thrashing violently on the bed, something went terribly wrong. The equipment used to secure her snapped, causing a fracture in her lower spine. Incredibly, the director kept the cameras rolling and that take ended up in the final film. Things weren't much smoother for Ellen Burstyn, who played Chris McNeil. During a scene where Reagan slaps her, Burstyn fell and seriously injured her back. She has described the excruciating pain and her frustration with Friedkin, who prioritised getting the shot over her well-being. Being possessed by a demon on screen turned into a real-life nightmare for Linda Blair. The young actress faced a terrifying backlash after The Exorcist's release. Religious extremists couldn't separate fact from fiction and bombarded her with death threats, convinced she was somehow linked to the devil. These threats became so severe that Warner Brothers had to step in and hire bodyguards to protect Blair 24/7 for almost 6 months. And even after the initial hype died down, the harassment continued on for years. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about The Exorcist. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.